So we are building a trail system here, which we so desperately. Some of you have suggested so many good names for our trail systems, like so good one, but none of them
have stuck
yet. So we need some more names. We're trying to have a northern vibe to it, but we need a name for it because it's getting close to completion. We're gonna do last OneWheeler Standing in there. We have a drone shot of just where we're at right now.
It's coming together.
When you see it from the sky, it looks pretty sweet. This is only a portion of it. There is, if you ride every trail, it is a mile long. Some of it is underwater at the moment, but there are we're just putting features in there. That berm is mammoth, over 70 feet long.
I'm starting to like that berm.
You have right there our finished pump track, which is so much fun. And then you can see where you see the drone shot coming down, and you get to see the trail that this is a straightaway. So much fun to just fly across on dirt. And then it comes into what I'm going to start calling the Sherwood Forest. I don't know. It just feels like we should. That's a good name. And back in there, we have more trails and a new feature going in there. Would you like to see the brand new feature that I don't know if I've ever seen a one-wheeler even attempt this outside of what we built yesterday.
Attempt to make it or ride it?
Ride it.
Oh.
Like we're calling it the teeter drop. Legend, my son, we had to practice to make sure this even could work. We built it last night. It's not in the trails. This will be a future video of how we built this. But look, you teeter into a drop, so you drop twice and down on.
Fun.
Let's show that one more time because that's sweet. It is 37 inches wide, so it's really wide.
Huge.
Yeah, 12 feet long into a 4-foot platform, and so it's 2 drops. It just makes it, you can see the crowd watching. Okay, so it's rideable. It's going to be legit. We're plopping that in the Sherwood Forest part of the trails in the next few days. In a week or two, we'll show you the how-to and where we put that one-wheel feature, which we're stoked to drop in there. That isn't just the Sherwood Forest part of our trails. And then we're just stoked on what's happening here. And so looking for some great names, okay?
They're saying Mendon Trail.
The Mendon Trail?
Lakeside Gauntlet.
I like that.
Flying Hawk Trails?
Lakeside Gauntlet?
I
like that.
Somebody said Gauntlet, Shred Gauntlet. I kind of like Gauntlet. I like Gauntlet if we can figure out how to put that. Northern Gauntlet Trails.
Mendon Hills.
Mendon Hills.
I like that.
That's real funny.
I like it, but it needs to have it's the Mendon Hills Gauntlet. Now I can start feeling that. Because when people are ranking the trails in here, and these are noobs to have rode this forever, they're talking about how viciously hard these trails are. Lil, you've rode a lot of trails, a lot of bike trails. You've been injured on them.
Yeah.
How do you rank the hardness, the level of difficulty in this trail system?
Compared to like a single track mountain bike trail?
Yeah.
Probably like a 4 out of 10.
A 4 out of 10 in difficulty?
4.5, yeah.
So it's almost halfway to the super hard.
Single track mountain bike trails is like an 8 out of 10. 8 or 9.
On a one wheel?
On a one wheel.
On a one wheel.
Yeah.
So
single track.
So
your wheel can barely fit inside of them. Those
That's one really nice thing
difficult
about this track is it's wide.
It is wide.
We've done other tracks even on our mountain bikes.
We're getting better. A year ago it was very difficult because it was still rooty and all this stuff. We've done a great job to make it more rideable and safer. We're not trying to make it too safe.
Applause.
We're not trying to make it too rideable because we want to be technical back there. But we want it to be a fun place to ride in for all levels, and you can make it as difficult as you want. When this is fully built, we're gonna invite Bodie and Jeff out here to ride it and see what they could do on it because they're gonna show us what is possible. So we're pretty stoked on that. So if Bodie or Jeff, you're watching out there in Float Life, that was your official invite. We'll give you a written letter if we must to get you out here.
And I'll make you dinner.
Dinner will be served. You could, and then we can take you to some other trail systems here in the Twin Cities. It'll be great. Okay, I'm going back to the name for real quick. I like
Mendon
Hills Gauntlet.
I like that too.
I kind of like that. That's kind of got a good vibe to it. We'll have to play with that one, but we lost the northern feel, so we got to kind of. Then it gets too long if you go the northern
Mendon Hills.
Yeah, no, get that out of here, right?
Too much.
Okay, so we dropped a video on Sunday on how we made the berm. It's a 70-foot long berm that goes downhill. Most berms, you start at the same level as you go at the exit. Yes, Holly, you have your hand raised like we're in some kind of classroom. Oh.
I did.
Yes, Holly.
Lily just gave the trails a 4 out of 10. Jared goes, I gave it a double black diamond.
Yeah. Jared
just needs a few more days on the trails. And also, though, in my defense, when Scott started making the trails, they were like they were like an ungroomed like dog.
Because of the
gnarly.
roots
It was
and because of the
An ungroomed dog?
Dog?
Was wait, hold on.
don't
An
know.
ungroomed dog? They're still cute and fun and cuddly.
No,
But
they
an
smell
ungroomed-
bad
What?
and they
smell
need a
bad.
bath.
You can't brush their hair.
You can't brush their hair. Like
Oh my
everything
goodness.
Is, everything is.
You're
hot mess.
saying because of the roots, there are so
There
many
were-
rocks and sticks
It
and
was
things.
so hard to ride. Like I could barely stay steady on my one wheel. And now that they've gone through and groomed the trails, they've cut down the roots and stuff. It's way easier. So I think I'm comparing it a little bit to how they
Yeah,
were
it's
before.
way better than it was a year ago, for sure. Last year we did a foxtail race out there, and we all suited up because we knew death would be around the corner if you fell right on your. I mean, just you would be impaled. We've eliminated so much and done so much work. It took us a year to get it to where we could put features on it. And so Jared, who is a local here, he rode it this past weekend, and he came in saying, I've never really rode trails that much of this level. So for him, yeah, it was very difficult. He did very well. He fell only a handful of times, and I kicked myself. I didn't film any of it. And one of the hardest falls I saw from a friend of mine named Ryan down the Berm. I mean, he rolled down that thing with his one wheel. It was crazy, wild to watch,
I
but no
don't like
film
that.
footage. Just the way it goes. Sorry
Haven't
for.
you learned by now to film everything?
Yeah, I just didn't want to. I wanted to be in the
You
moment.
wanted to ride. You wanted to ride.
So people are asking how they can come to the trails.
Okay, we should do something. We should figure out how to do that. We are doing the last OneWheeler Standing, which is an invitation, but you have to fill out a form to be invited ultimately because we can't have 100 people here, and we need to make sure that the rider has the ability to get their one wheels here because we can't. We aren't
Not
providing one wheels. Thank you, but. We want to show the berm in maybe a couple different ways. Maybe you haven't seen the video where we dropped this week on how we built it and stuff. Go back and watch it. It's worth the watch. But here's the berm, 70 foot long in all.
Is
And
it slow-mo?
Yeah, I slowed it down so you could really see it. Here's where it gets tricky. Right here. Now you're going downhill with all this speed. That's the part that freaks everybody out, is that downhill. Most berms don't go straight into a downhill. That's what makes it very difficult. Okay, now we have shots of, here's my attempt where I get it. It took me several attempts to get it. I have no idea why. It just did. We're going to put a berm right there where you just saw me outrun it. We have Lily. Lily, what's your claim to fame on this berm, Lil?
That I got it on the first try.
How did you do that?
What did I call it yesterday?
because she does
Naive
tricks.
courage.
Naive
Because I didn't know.
courage.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
That is well said. Here she is on her first go of it. Now watch at the end. This is what's happened to a lot of people. She bails
Yeah, I got really scared.
and runs it out.
But
and then,
that's what I was telling Jared earlier. I perfected that. Like, I'm not running it out anymore. I just keep cruising.
she can keep cruising.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
The great thing about the way you ride berm is you immediately go into regen when you're going downhill because it's recharging your battery, which is so great. I like some names coming in. Foxtails or Foxtail Gauntlet. That's
Foxtail Trails.
Foxtail Trail. That's kind of that's a fair one.
That's good because it's like branded to us.
To us, which we filmed. We filmed 3 videos yesterday. I don't know in the order they're going to drop, but we did do a foxtail race back in there with the features. We had not laughed that hard in a long time, so we can't wait to get you that. This
It was
is
fun
hilarious.
to do in the trails.
We put 10 minutes on the clock, and let's just say there's carnage everywhere. At one point, Lily pretty much throws me into the woods. She really did. I don't know why she did, but she did. I'm in the woods, laying there as she's trying to strip me of the foxtail. Just the way it went. Yeah. So can't wait for you to see all those things. We have some footage of my kids riding it. And you're going to see where the primary spots of people bailing on this. This is historic who's yet to be able to get it. This is where everybody bails, right there. When you turn into the downhill.
Aww.
She's going, I don't know why I can't get it. Here's Inspire. Look at Inspire rolling on this.
Oh.
Let's hit it again. It's all worth seeing. He comes in with blind confidence, and then
man,
just
that-
that.
Oh.
He
How
just
did that
bails.
happen?
He just wobbles, and then he kisses
wobbled.
the berm right there. Then we got Legend and Epic, the duo of boys that are trying to outcompete each other, outdo each other. Here's Epic on the berm flying in.
Nice.
He's going to have to outrun it into the trees there. And then Legend just rides it.
Of course.
Where they're all bailing into those trees, this weekend we're bringing in a couple tons of dirt. and we're going to put a 3-foot high berm, I don't know, probably 10, 15 feet long, dirt berm, so you can keep your speed and just roll into the next section. So this week we're going to be putting in dirt features in it, which we're pretty amped about being able to add to our trail systems here. As you can tell, it's becoming a really proper trail system. It needs a proper name. It needs something that when you see it, you're like, oh, I'm excited. I want to go ride those trails. And so we're pretty stoked on it. We're stoked on that teeter drop on coming out of where we're going to put it in the Sherwood Forest. We're going to put a dirt berm into that. So you're going to be able to hit that with some speed. The reason we put the drop in the teeter drop is so that you can mob that thing. You won't lose any speed. If it teeter-totters, like it drops, you'll lose a lot of speed, and we just didn't want to lose the speed. So thank you for enjoying some of the footage of the Mendon Hills trails.
Mendon Hills trails.
The Mendenhall.
It's a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Mendenhall trails.
I just can't do it.
Mendon Hills Gauntlet.
It just doesn't roll off my.
Hills.
I like the word gauntlet. Gauntlet, the Northern Gauntlet trails.
The Mendenhall Gauntlet.
I could do the Northern Gauntlet trails. That's short, simple, rolls off your tongue. No?
Yeah, it's good.
It's not. No.
The Mendenhall Gauntlet.
I don't like the Mendenhall. I like it, but it's a tongue twister. I'll jack it up all
It's
the time.
because you're used to saying Mendenhall.
Yeah, and then what? I'm gonna one day write down Mendenhall instead of Mendenhall. I'm gonna do Mendenhall Trail. It's too much.
It might be a counter, like a clash of branding.
a clash of just my brain cells not understanding what I'm actually trying to say. I think that's the issue. That's what it is. My brain is like, no, can't. Abort, don't say this. Okay. So you got to see that.
Scot Trail was one suggestion. We live on Scott Lake.
Yeah, somebody's saying sounds Hallmarky. Jared's saying sounds Hallmarky. Yeah, I think that's
love Hallmark.
Yeah,
wait, Mendenhall, the Mendenhall Gauntlet sounds Hallmarky?
Or Mendenhall Trails does sound Hallmarky. Thank you, Jared, for having my back on that.
Northern Gauntlet sound Hallmarky?
No, Northern Gauntlet Trails? I don't think that's what he's saying.
What about the
Scot Trails? Why it says Scot Trails?
Northern Float Trails. Northern.
We got again, the Foxtail Gauntlet has been suggested again. I wish I lived in your area just so I can help you guys with your trails.
They're real fun.
What would you tell us to put in there? If you're saying help, what would you like us to put in there? What feature do we need to have to make this thing? Thank you. I do want to say a big thanks to everybody that watches every week on our YouTube channel, our podcast, or you listen to it. Without you, what would be the point? It would be just us hanging out in here doing nothing. Subscribe to the channel as we try to pump out as much one-wheel content.